which is like one of the most strangest things about vampires. I never get that idea of like you have to invite them in, otherwise they can't even mess with. They can't do nothing to you. All right, guys, let's talk about this feature film, Sinners. I just got done watching it maybe a couple hours ago or a day ago, give or take now, and yeah, let's discuss it. It's a fascinating film. I haven't seen a vampire movie in such a long time, so watching this was very interesting just for that alone. Hell, I think the last time I watched a vampire film might have been Blade, which what when Blade come out, like 2002, 2003, give or take. Yeah, it might be the last time. I'm not a vampire type person. I don't really watch stuff with vampires. The only other thing I can think of that have vampires in it that I watch would be Supernatural, maybe. They do have vampires in that, and then Vampire Diary. I watched the beginning of that series, sort of, not really. That series kind of, yeah. Then like Twilight, of course not. So yeah, this was a fascinating film. It had mainly a black cast. Um, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the other video with Until Dawn or not, but the audience, the people you see the movie with, matters a lot. It can kind of make or break your experience while watching the movie. But with this movie Sinners, I watched this movie with mainly a black audience, which not to sound prejudiced or racist or whatever, but it was of course exactly what you expected it to be. A lot of people reacting to the screen, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I'm a type of person who reacts to movies out loud, especially if I'm by myself. I'm talking out loud to the damn screen, like if the characters can actually hear me. I don't know why I do it. I've always done it, always will do it. And it was like that in the movie theater as well, which is something I actually appreciate because it was so funny, especially when characters are making stupid decisions and you can't help but to go like, "Ah, stop! What you doing? Turn around, get away, go, get out of here." You can't help but do that, and that's something I do a lot. And it was a lot of that happening in the movie theater, which I enjoy honestly. So the two main characters you have here is Stack. Hope I'm pronouncing that 100% correct. Stack and Smoke, they two twins played by the same actor, Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan does an amazing job of playing two separate characters. Um, they two separate characters. I would say twins. They feel like two people when they're on screen with each other. They are able to interact with each other. They're able to play off each other, and it feels like two different people. If you don't remind yourself or keep telling yourself that this is one actor playing two roles, you can get lost in it, which is really good. I remember there's not a new technology, the ability to play two different characters in the film. This is something they've been doing it for decades, I believe, at this point. And most of the time, what they do is they film. From my understanding, I'm not someone who making movies or anything, but from my understanding, they film they film you. It's kind of like how we do TikTok. We film one thing, and then you know what like you. I even just did it myself. You film one thing, you read all your parts, all your lines, and then you film the other character reacting to the first one, and you got to in sync it perfectly to make it seem more to make it more believable. And they do that seamlessly. It's actually crazy. I love what they started with the film. They started with the I almost said cousins, with the twins, with one of them having a cigarette and the other one reaching over for the other one to light it. And back then, my understanding of how they did it, since how they did was like two separate things. When you have two characters even on screen at the same time with the same actor, they could not cross paths because you will literally see one hand disappearing, one arm disappearing into another because it's two different things like just layer on top of each other. But in this case, how we able to use CGI and how we able to use all these different special effects, you can then have someone act the part, but then do a stand in, so there's someone physically there, and then Photoshop or whatever you want to call it, do After Effects, whatever program they use, put the face on top of the other actor's face. Therefore, if someone physically, physically touching, and that might have how they done it. I don't really know. I'm assuming. Nevertheless, I love it, man. I love how they did that. It was incredible. This story is incredible. You got a vampire type story. You have these two brothers who is trying to, not trying to, but they escape from Chicago. They back home. They open up a juice, what's it called, a juice joint. It's basically like a bar or yeah, I guess that's what you call it. It's a bar. It's like a modern day bar, but back then it was called juice joints. Obviously, it's more just drinking going on, gambling, etc. And yeah, but then you also have their cousin, Preacher Boy, who comes down there to do his music. And his father is a preacher, that's why I call him Preacher Boy. And his father warns him that if he keep doing that, he's going to bring the devil down on them and blah blah blah. You know how religious people are. So it was the thing where like I'm trying to remember how a woman said it. There was a scene in this movie that is just amazing. I like to talk about that because visually it just looked amazing. And when he was playing his music, she before that she mentioned that how like, or actually during the scene, I believe, right at the beginning of the scene, she said like the music can be so good it can like we can reach across time and space in a way. And so they had this scene where he's just playing, and then you see modern day music, like people, you see all of a sudden people with a guitar, like an electric guitar playing, and then you see people with piano, you see the DJ, and you see it's like modern day, but also it's present, past, and future. All it's all like the timelines almost like mixing together in a way, because he plays so well, he's able to break that barrier between time. But then doing that also brought the vampires to them, unfortunately, and that's where the story really kicks up, because you got these vampires. Now, if you know vampires, they not allowed to come in a home or basically in any type of building or house or whatever without permission, which is like one of the strangest things about vampires. I never get that idea of like you have to invite them in. Otherwise, they can't even mess with. They can't do nothing to you. This has been like a rule since like basically forever, as far as I know. You have to invite them in. So as long as you don't invite them in, you good. You're Gucci, which is kind of a funny thing. I've seen a lot of jokes about this. How like vampires just stand outside, like, "Hey man, why invite me in, man? Oh man, y'all got a party going on. Let me get up in there." So it was a lot of that going on like throughout the movie. Even with like this character named Cornbread, he was the door. He was a bouncer basically. He stepped away to go pee. Vampire got him, and he come back, and he like, "Oh man, come on, y'all get out the way, man. Let me in." They're like, "What are you talking about? Just walk. Like you can walk in. What are you talking about? You've been walking in and out this whole time. Why you acting weird?" And then that scene was pretty funny as well, because of course he tried to attack dude, shot his goofy ass. The vampires here are they're very interesting. They are resilient. They can take a lot, because there are scenes where they get shot up like crazy, and able to basically brush it off and keep it pushing. Only time I've seen a vampire that got hurt is when old girl threw holy water onto his face. Otherwise, they get up and they keep it pushing. They don't hurt at all. And so you got Stack. Stack is the twin with the red hat, and he is more bad boyish. He kind of do what he want. He kind of do. He just kind of roll with it, whatever. He don't make the best decisions. That's the twin who got bit in terms of a vampire, and then you got Smoke. He's a little more smarter, more mature, more. I would say he's more business focused than anything, because when they open up this joint, they he really wanted to make sure people paying and excuse me, etc. So they got different personalities, which is really easy to tell them apart. And they also one wearing blue, one wearing red. Smoke wearing blue, by the way. Oh man, this movie Sinners. I believe every character is a representation of one of the deadly sins. I won't tell you which one's which because I'm pretty bad at remembering all the names, honestly. So that was fascinating though, just to see that you once you hear that theory or whatever, it makes it kind of obvious. So like I said, Smoke is the one who got bit. He's the one who you think the way they set it up, they make it seem like his brother killed him at the end, but he didn't. So you get to see him in the future. Before I get to that point though, the end, before the final closing of the movie. I'm trying to think what I was gonna say. Where am I? Give a second, give a second. Where are we? So Preacher Boy, he's the one who's gonna survive the event. Keep him. Oh, so the way they set up the movie as well. So they show you right at the beginning of the movie, Preacher Boy with a scar on his face and him coming into church where his father's a pastor and with the broken guitar. They show all that and then they go, okay, let's jump now a day before the day of the event. So this whole movie takes place in one day and then it jumps forward in time. And so we think that one of the brothers was killed off by the other, and then the next morning he had to deal with the clan. So basically, the clan member is the one who sold him the place, sold them the place, sold the twins the place. And so even though he threatened them like, "Hey, don't come your ass back here. We gonna no, it's over for you." They was planning to something that the head vampire told him before he got knocked off was that these clan members was planning to kill you. These clan members actually come back to they was planning to like come back the next day or whatever to take care of y'all. So in a way, we kind of help y'all, just let y'all know. and so yeah, the clan member did show up the next morning to try to take care of him. And Michael B. Jordan character, I think that'll be Stack. Stack, he gunned him down, but and unfortunately, that's how Stack got killed himself. Um, yeah, that's how he got killed himself. And then we jump into the future. We see Picture Boy. He made it as an artist. I'm assuming he's about 80 something years old. I'm not sure if the movie tells you or not, but if I'm correct, he's about in his 80s. And then we see Smoke. I hope I'm saying his name right. Then we see Smoke, and then we see Smoke in the future. I'm saying it wrong. Sorry, I apologize. Stack. Smoke is the good brother, and Stack will be the more reckless brother. So we see Stack in the future, and Stack let Preacher Boy know that his brother his Smoke asks him to promise or tell him to promise him that he will not go after Preacher Boy. He will leave him alone and let him live out his life, which he did. And so at the end of, or close to the end of Preacher Boy's life, he comes to visit him to hear him play one last time before he passed on. He even offered, "Hey man, I can help you out. I can turn you into a vamp and you can live forever." And Smoke said, "No, no, thank you." And he said, "All right, it's okay." And he left on his own. He left on his own. He left on his way with with his, I'm assuming, wife at that point. Who knows? With his girlfriend, wife, whatever that is to him, the white woman that we saw throughout the movie. So yeah, that's one of the post credit scenes. I think there's technically two. You see it jumps forward and you see Preacher Boy playing at one of his vineyards, and then the second post credit scene will be the one I just described. So wow, when it comes to rating this film, this is easy. Full price. I will most certainly get this full price. This movie is 100% just perfect. I mean, I guess no film is technically perfect. But in my eyes, I would consider this perfect. I would consider this something that it would be amazing to watch with the right crowd. It's amazing to see in the movie theater. It was a fun watch. It's a weird thing to say. It's a fun watch, but then it's also very sad. It was a sad story. You get to, unfortunately, a lot of characters died, and the more you think about how the characters went out, and then they do a lot of montages of the characters and the events because there's so much happening. It becomes very overwhelming and emotional and very sad in a way. But at the same time, you're happy that Preacher Boy lived out his life at the very least. So that's my review of Sinners. See you guys for the next one. Peace. Wow, look at that. You made it to the end of the video. You might as well hit the like button, subscribe, follow us on social media, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next video.